Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Hip Hop Babies Review. It's your boy Deb Lee. I got my boy Ray with me as always.
Yes, sir.
We're about to get into this new Yeat album, Afterlyfe. Shit sent me to the afterlife after I was done listening to it. What even was this, man? Like, I felt like I was being transported somewhere else, another planet. I'm not from my planet, like he says.
He's an alien. You know how Lil Wayne used to say that shit? Yeat, who alive, you could damn near see a UFO, bro. He's different. He's not from this planet.
Oh my god. All right, let's get into this. You've been familiar with Yeat. You know some of his history, right? I want you to preface this a little bit. What's the difference with this album, man? Like, it doesn't sound like anything else that he's been putting out, so.
You know, Yeat, he's been doing this for a few years now. The way I found him is through, looking through stuff on TikTok. I started hearing some of his songs and I was like, okay, this dude, I can see why people are starting to post memes and it started to be a whole thing. I think 4L, and I think he dropped a few things before 2 Alive that started to catch people's ear. I think Up to Me, and then 2 Alive, it really took off. And then he started to do this whole build up to this one. He's been leading up, with Lyfe and then now Afterlyfe. He's built like a steady fan base online. I like some of his songs. I'm not the biggest fan, but I know some people who are big fans. I think he's appealed to a certain demographic. He's found a way to appeal to people as far as just making fun, catchy ass music. With the ad libs, with the way he posts and does certain things. He's pretty different with the way he handles himself, especially compared to other rappers. I think that's why people are starting to catch on.
There's definitely a veil that's there. I don't feel like we get that a lot with a lot of people nowadays. A lot of people like to overshare or show who they are on social media. I mean, he posts fit pics and stuff, right? But like, it's nothing like too excessive. Definitely carries himself well. You don't see him acting out. That era of rappers is not really who's cool anymore. So, Yeat's like kind of his own thing at this point. And you said he was heavy on TikTok and all the memes. I mean, I saw the memes and shit. And I was hating for a little bit. I had to. Anytime somebody new comes out, does some shit like this, there's no lyricism there. Immediately, I gotta hate. Instinctual, bro.
And you was hating even though he got Young Thug and a Gunna feature. You're a big fan of those two artists. So even that didn't sway you with his earlier projects. I think, now we're going to get into it, of course, but with this one, it was a little different. He showed a little more versatility. It's still Yeat, though. We're not going to act like, this is poetic justice or anything crazy like that. It's some bangers on it, even though he's made it big time. Out of all these underground rappers at this point, like, he's definitely been the biggest. There was Sofago, Autumn Summers, all them guys. He's found a way to connect with the most people and make sounds that are always popping up. I can already hear it on this one. People are going to eat this one up. It's going to be a lot of memes. It's going to be a lot of shit. I've already started to see some. It's cool to see. I didn't know if he was going to be a big time artist. He's definitely not a superstar yet. We can see where he's going to go. We scrapped the review because Deadly was hating so much. He did not like it, right? I think that was 2 Alive. And even Lyfe, I was kind of like, I like some songs on Lyfe, but as a whole, wasn't that good. This is better than Lyfe. This is one of his better projects.
I think so. I mean, this is the first one that I liked, so... I didn't really like the other ones. I can go back and I can pick a few tracks that, I like here or there, but overall, it's not for me. This one, I don't know why it hit a little bit different. It's just about how you figure out how to enjoy this music. I mean, it's literally just a compilation of sounds, like you said. Like, it's like TikTok music, supercharged, right? Because every song got like 5 or 6 different sounds inside of it. It's like, what was he doing there? Yeah. What was he doing? He was just having fun. That's really what it is. He's just having fun on this one. And I like the way that he played with the different genres on this one. He had some rock influence, some like club influence, he's trying to make a club hit, kind of poppy at times, and then really like emotional. I don't know if I was expecting, so.
Yeah, I mean, on Lyfe, I feel like he had songs. Can't Stop was one on that one, but that one I think was not one of the faves. I didn't really see it pop up on the internet as much, but I thought Can't Stop was a cool song, and it was tight to see him tap back into that on this one, especially later on the album. Myself, at the end, the closer track, I like the closer track a lot. And also, it literally sounds like Can't Stop, but like a different way the guitar is like pitched or something, or a different way it was sampled or something. But that was a tight ass closer for him. He's talking about how he needs help and stuff, because he's touched on it before, how he does so much drugs and he needs to stop. It's a thing the devil's calling him all the time, and he needs to do his perkies. It's funny, it's entertaining, but sometimes he does do these sad songs, and it was cool to see him tap into that more on this album, because it does need to be touched on. The abusing all these drugs is not good.
No, definitely not. It just keeps it more real. I think, when you have the highs and the lows in the album, you need the lows in the album to keep it entertaining, keep it engaging. So I thought he played into it a little bit better on this one than previous projects for me. So the guitars added an extra like emotional effect onto the songs, and the vocal patterns that he was doing, like there's like a very particular like ad lib that he does, and I thought he was like using it a lot more on this project than he was on like other ones, and like different like production sound. It's just this one sound and he was using it over and over again. And I was like, yeah, he's finding his own like little niche, his own little wave.
Was it the or whatever? I can't do it. He did so many sounds on this one, like literally makes noises. The ad-libs are damn near part of his lyric. You know how they say that with Cardi? Yeat is basically that to a T. His ad-libs are basically his lyrics. On some of these songs, he's basically mumbling, ad-libbing, but you kind of understand what he's saying. You know how they said like lifestyle, you didn't understand it, but now you do because you started to listen to it. Young Thug's music more. Yeat's like that. And I feel like I know how to decipher Yeat music a lot of the time now. Not all the time. Some of these lyrics is like, what the fuck are you saying? But it's easier on the ears now.
I don't even think I could really do it. Like for now, the vocal effects on now, it sounds like his vocals are like the background. So like the beat is the foreground of the song, and then what he's saying is just like the background, and it's like really echoey and dulled down. So I mean, it's an interesting song for sure, but I like it too. It's probably one of my favorite ones, because it's so unique. It's just like, what the fuck was going on?
What is going on? And I think that was the track that caught my ear because as someone who listens to Yeat, I like to turn tracks. Split, that was a snippet. He had it where it was getting sped up, and he cut that from this album, but it was still dope. How It Go, another song that was leaked and had been popping up, the snippet. And Slam, that was another banger on here. Like he had a few songs like that where he was doing the usual Yeat, but it was kind of different on this album. It's more, I wouldn't say dark, but the ad libs he's doing are more whack. I feel like what he's done is he's been doing it for so long now. He's like, and he drops out of music. So he's like, I gotta find new ad libs or make my ad libs even more weird or abstract, like fucking howling on Heavyweight. Like it literally sounds like a wolf howling on the track, but it's catchy. He works it in the track pretty well, and he knows how to mix it. Whoever is his engineer needs to get top dollar. Like they need to pay that man because everything on here sounds pretty smooth, even when I don't like it.
I mean, the whole thing is really well produced and stuff. So really well put together. You can tell he's got like connections with Thug and Gunna, like you said. I'm sure they put him on the right producers and the right engineers and all that stuff, because those guys they run trap music, and that's essentially what this kind of comes from, is like trap type music from Portland, man. I gotta hate on him, bro. I'm in California, Washington. That's it, bro.
He rep LA right now, though.
He switched up. He switched up. We know, he come out to California. Everybody want to rep California when they come out to California, right?
Yeah. Switch their lifestyle up. He flexing on them. That's why he got songs talking about how much money you got, how you gonna take your girl. He always was like that, but I feel like now he's earned that spot. He's one of those dudes that people know Yeat now. He's not like a household name, but he's definitely popping. So he didn't really even talk about Turban Hella on this one.
Well, he talked about people taking his sounds, taking his swag.
Yeah, taking his flows and his image. And that made sense because people are. I've already seen it. There's already Yeat clones, people using the gimmick, especially when he used the bells. I remember people took that instantly. Get it? I think that was a banger. I was slapping that one a lot, but he knows how to work sounds like that and catch people's ears to the point where you already see people taking from it. And I think that's impressive as well, because he hasn't been doing it like this for a while. This is more so recently.
He's definitely one of those guys that instead of people giving him credit or giving him praise for like what he does, he's somebody that you look at and you just take pieces of his game and put it into your own shit, because that's what people have been doing. I really have not been seeing like other people besides Young Thug put out love for Yeat or like working with him besides
Uzi too.
That's
what I'm saying. He got people supporting him. Young Boy showing up on this one, and he was on one of Young Boy's albums. So that's tight to see that Young Boy's messing with him, especially because Young Boy with his new album, he didn't copy Yeat per se, but that last album was more production wise in this lane, right? That's cool to see them working together. And that track was dope. That was a dope track. Schmunk, however you said. Young Boy killed it, but Yeat did his thing on there too. Rave Party, Lil Tonka, like his vocal inflections were crazy on Rave Party, like and that's the thing that keeps people hooked with him. I think the vocal inflections and the ad libs, because that's what kept me hooked.
That's probably the only thing that kept me listening to it. I was in the hyperbolic chamber listening to this album, trying to how do I enjoy this? How do I enjoy this album? This album is just, man, it's just crazy. But the more I listened to it, the more the beats hit with me, the more the just really like random wacky things that he was saying stuck with me. Y'all know I like Saw Baby and shit. I like wacky, so like it's cool. Like it just takes a second for, you know, the jokes to hit. And it's not gonna hit every time. Big body, big Tonka. Like he's just saying words, bro.
He's definitely digging more into the aesthetic. No More Talk, the first track, that was a hard way to start the album. Yeah, he was doing the yeah or whatever. I can't even do it. I can't do the sounds because I don't have the auto tune. You get what I'm saying? Like he was doing that on every track had like an ad lib like that where he was damn near like stretching his voice, but it was like crazy with the beat. And that was a good way to get it started. From start to finish, he lost me more so near the end, but he kept my ear for the most part with a lot of the wacky sounds. Now I didn't like the whole album. I do think some of it dragged on. I like that he dabbled into his alter ego bag with Cranky Cranky and Lug Geeky. If that's how you say it, Lug Geeky, I think, whatever. Those were funny, the way he went off vocally on those tracks. Yeah, man, if he wants to do that more too. Because I damn near think a lot of times when he does different voices, it's damn near like a different rapper. Like he's doing some wacky ass shit to the point where it's like, that's not you. You damn near was like, I thought that was someone else or something, or just like random noises.
I was looking for the feature, bro. I was like, where the feature at? I'm not familiar with Yeat lore, so I was looking at it and I was like, where the fuck is?
Now that's new for this. Watch was different. You know, the whisper flow. He got into his Yin Yang Twins bag with that. That was funny to see him do for a minute. Did Watch catch your ear?
I mean, it was cool. I don't think it was anything crazy. I think he does like other stuff that was more interesting than the whisper. Everybody gonna try it once.
Stress was a cool track. I like the way he flowed on the end of that one. Usually the tracks had moments, but sometimes they lost me because, you know, I feel like he would keep it going for a long time. And after a while, it's like, oh, you're saying the same thing. For the most part, tracks like Split.
They were like, what, 3 to 5 minutes?
Yeah,
like
some of them were.
For like every song.
Bad Ben and Slash Demon was like him trying to split the track, but it kind of was similar. I like that though. Do this all the time. And he went, demons in my mind. Like, you know, he like... It's so crazy how he does it.
That's like the literal highlight of the entire thing, though. Is like those moments where he just like grabs your ear for like a second and he's just yelling at you. He got me by my collar. He yelling at me.
I've always liked Yeat's more aggressive track. I feel like that's when he's at his best. When he's yelling at you, like you said, grabbing you by your collar and just yelling at you and going off about turkeys and fucking seeing shit. Nigga, that's when he's at his best. I feel like sometimes, you know, the slower tracks on this were cool and it's dope to see him venture out. When Yeat's caught my ear, especially back in the day, it's always been like, Sorry About That, Mad About That, Turban, all the tracks where he's just going off, crazy off the wall bonkers. Like he knows how to do it. I feel like this one he did that well, and he also switched it up well. So this is the best, one of the better Yeat projects. I'm not gonna say the best yet, but this is one of his better projects.
I think that like the best one of the better bangers on here was definitely Whoa. That was one of the better ones. You know, he just swag rap, right? Like he's just like he's full of swag. He's like feeling himself. You feeling it too, right? That was one of the better ones.
Nothing I Changed. He was doing like club shit. That was funny.
Like the
Yeah, he's blowing up. So if he wants to try to reach different demographics, fuck it. Again, people complain that all his tracks would mesh in and sound the same. So him trying to do something like that was all right. It wasn't one of my favorite tracks. Yeah, that wasn't one of my favorites. That's literally how the track goes. But I mean, someone might like it. Someone might want to hear Club Yeat, you know?
I was fucking with it. I thought it was funny. At least it was funny, right? Anytime he does something that's like, it could be eye rolling, I feel like he's got enough charisma and swag. It's just funny, bro. Like, he's goofing. We all laughing, you know, it's not anything, serious. So me hating before was kind of just like, what are you doing, bro? Like, he's not serious. So
yeah, it's goofy. He's so goofy. I understand. Like sometimes that takes time to, either Majestic, Young Thug, some of these other rappers, they get goofy, but this is different. Like he's goofy, especially with, the way he talks. He's not really gangster. He does talk some shit on this, but he's not like talking about killing hella people and stuff. He's just talking about kind of, the usual trap stuff in a sense. And I think maybe that's why you might not fuck with him. It might not come off as authentic. The more he makes music, the more he's getting out of that just like generic trap bag. And he's doing things that are different enough to make it like a different type of trap.
It's not even real trap, bro. It's geeker music, bro. Like Lucky Fans and shit.
And maybe before you kind of felt like who is this guy? You talk about turbans and being all aggressive on the track, yelling and making noises. I understand might have taken some time to, catch up on. I've never been a hater because I saw it kind of catch it on, but not the way it has. And it's kind of funny to see. If he becomes even bigger than this and keeps dropping shit like this and people are eating up even more, hey man, I can't hate because he made his own little lane.
He's got to be bigger than this. Like you said, he's already made his own lane. So it's only going to get bigger from here. I just think it's funny, from this point that we just gotten to the point where you can do whatever you want on a rap track. Don't have to be taken necessarily seriously. You can just kind of be yourself. And like he said, he was freestyling on the whole thing. No more punching in. Those are real lyrics. I actually found some lyrics to give y'all. He's just riffing, bro. He's just having fun. And like, we all know that I would do the same shit. Like, y'all listen to the podcast back in the day. I was doing the same shit. You know, we was being Yeat, bro. We was just having fun.
But hey, we didn't have a top tier engineer and producer like he does. So.
Exactly, bro.
The producers on here are top notch. The engineer did what he had to do. They deserve all the credit on this project as well. He keeps working with bigger people, keeps making connections, getting bigger features, but also staying to his sound. This will take off even more. I'm already seeing the numbers for this one a little bit, and it's tight to see because from someone who just, blew up off the internet, developed his own fan base, he's really crossing over. And that's why he's trying to do club tracks, and I think that's why he's getting deeper with some of the tracks, because you have to find different ways to connect with different people. And it worked with you. Right? So that's tight to see because I want to make more references to the Tonka and all that shit and make certain ad-libs out loud, and then you know exactly what I'm talking about, because otherwise it just sounds like I'm fucking howling and doing weird shit.
That's what it's all about, man. If you like lyrics, bro, don't check out this album. It's not for you, but you guys... you just want to vibe out, bro. Like, this for you, bro. Turn your brain off or keep it on if you want, play in the background. You can also just like make it your whole focus and it'd be insane. So get geeked, stay subscribed, like this video. Thank y'all so much for watching. Appreciate y'all. Stream it. It's called Afterlyfe. It's dope. I fuck with it. That's it.
Yeah, man. With that being said, peace.